Hello and welcome to the OnlyDegens podcast. In this episode, we introduce the hosts of the show, Degen and JT. We go over our top 5 lists. We talk about the NFL, college football. We visit the Degen Dungeon dining room, talk about our Thanksgiving plans, and we get a visit from the cart girl. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the OnlyDegens podcast with your host, Chris the Degen, and Mr. JT himself. We are bringing you episode 1 of the OnlyDegens podcast, where we're going to talk all things degeneracy, all things bro, and just going to have a grand old time. So, JT, how are you doing today?
Fantastic, sir. How we doing?
Good, good. Always good in Degen's hood. You know how it is. Yeah, this podcast, I'm excited. I'm excited. We've been toying with the idea for a little bit, and we decided, you know what the hell? Let's get it started. So, what we're going to be doing on this pod, just so everybody knows, we'll dress it right out the gate. We're going to be talking sports. We're talking casino. We're talking some gambling. We're talking drinks. We'll be talking, the non-alcoholic beverages just as much, probably, if not a lot less, than the alcoholic beverages. We both can throw back a cold one and enjoy some good bourbons, some whiskey, some scotches. So we're discussing that kind of stuff. We'll be throwing out some grilling tips and all that kind of good stuff. All the cooking, right? JT and I both, we can hold it down in the kitchen. And game day at our house, it's a good time. It's a good time. Drinks are there, food is there. So looking forward to it. There's going to be just good bro sesh, chill sesh. If you're 10 and want to learn about sports, if you're 80 and need to get caught up on what's going on in the world of sports, and maybe you just need to leave, the house for a little bit. The kids are bothering you, the wife, the significant other, the husband, whatever it is. Maybe they're bothering you, and you just want to say, "I need to go hang out with the Degens." Come hang out. Come hang out with us. So we're going to be talking about a lot of different things tonight. We're going to introduce ourselves up here first. We're going to talk a little bit about who we are, what we do, and then we're going to get into some top 5 lists, just so you guys get to know us a little bit better. And we're going to kick off the pod with some bangers, I think. So, JT, tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you're from.
What's up, guys? I'm JT. Lived in Philadelphia pretty much, a good amount of my life. Didn't start actually as a Philadelphia sports fan. So I'm from Seattle. We bounced around a lot growing up as a family and stuff. But I was a Seahawks fan getting started. And one of my kind of first, like, if we're talking like sports takes and stuff. So my dad took me to a Seahawks game as a kid growing up, and I remember it like it was yesterday. I mean, you walked into that stadium, the sports, the atmosphere, everything surrounds you. And the coolest thing was, it was just like I was with my dad. It was the best experience possible. But we didn't stay in Seattle long. We shortly moved to Philadelphia after that. And my dad grew up around kind of Washington's Crossing area, so he's used to going to games and stuff. And I remember the first game my dad took me to. He's like, "Look, son, these fans aren't for the faint of heart. Just be aware of that." And those fans that I was intimidated with growing up and stuff, it was almost like a full circle moment when I grew up. The Birds won Super Bowl 52, and man, I've never connected with the city more than I have in Philadelphia. A little bit about myself. Went to high school with Chris. We played golf for the longest time there. Shot the shit
Still
there.
do
Had a
to this
great
day.
time. Philadelphia Archdiocese. But shortly after that, yeah, we graduated. I went to culinary school, so I got to learn a lot about different cooking methods. That's where the whole kind of grilling aspect comes in. I really found a really nice, in with cooking, and it's more of a hobby now and stuff. I currently work at a biomed company doing a couple different things. So, long and short, that's me, where I'm from, and kind of a little bit about me. So.
Just so everybody knows, we didn't coordinate the fits, but JT's got the Fletcher Cox jersey on for anyone who doesn't know. Obviously, we're both big Philadelphia sports fans, so you're going to hear us shitting on the Cowboys a lot
Oh,
and
yeah.
hyping up our birds. I got my underdog hoodie on. Shout out Jason Kelsey, the GOAT, best center of all time. If you want to
Not even
debate me
close.
on that, go ahead, drop it in the comments.
Not
You
even
can.
close.
It's not even close. But yeah, JT said we've been buddies since high school. Golf together, played different sports. We still golf together to this day. Go out quite a few times. We'll drop some golf footage so you
Heck
guys can see we're not bad. We can hold our own on the golf course. So
yeah. Do what I
I'm looking
can.
forward to it. Yeah, we can. The funniest part about the two of us golfing, I think, is we both play. For anyone who's not a golfer, sorry, but if you are a golfer, you know I got a natural draw. JT's got a natural fade. We end up 5 yards apart. Looks like a heart. Just it
It
is what
was
it
meant
is.
to be.
It was meant to be. We'll show some shot tracers of that kind of stuff in future episodes. But yeah, today we just wanted to kick the pod off, get it going, introduce you guys to ourselves, and we'll talk some. We're going to talk some sports as well. About halfway through the NFL season, and we are almost finished in the college football season. Not too much time left there, so we're going to address some of that stuff, and we're
Crazy
going
how
to get
fast
going.
that's
So
gone by.
yeah, it has. It's crazy. The fall, I feel like, just flies. So we're gonna kick it off. Introducing ourselves. Obviously, you guys got our little elevator pitch. Unfortunately, it's not the elevator pitch we use for our day jobs, but it's our elevator pitch for the Degens podcast. So we're gonna go into some top five lists, so you guys get to know us a little bit better, and then we will hop into the sports. All right, let's kick off these top five lists to finish out getting to know us. So, JT, I'm gonna go to you first. Top five sports to watch on TV.
Ooh, I mean, man, I've been watching a lot of sports. Coming in number one, it's got to be football, baby. I mean, that you can't get much better than that. Growing up, I played a lot of baseball, so that's definitely got to fall into number two. Definitely got to follow up with basketball. Played a lot of basketball in my life. My mom always played basketball, so she was on the court teaching me how to do stuff at a very young age. Love the competitiveness of the sport and everything. Um, I go golf next for sure. It's more of an individual sport, which I love. It's you and you only, and it's kind of a strategy game. So I kind of love that. And probably last, man, that's kind of tough. I say recently, been kind of getting into soccer or football, whatever you want to call it. This guy over here is a big soccer fan, so he's got me into it over the years and stuff. But yeah, kind of getting. I mean, we went to Italy. Paris got back from Spain. I got a Sergio Ramos jersey, so kind of getting into that aspect of the international game. So yeah, that's probably my top five.
There you go. I like that top five list. Mine is pretty similar. There's going to be one slight difference. I would say football is definitely number one, both NFL and college. My Saturdays and Sundays are spent on the couch watching all of that. Number two for me is probably soccer. Grew up playing soccer to the age of like 14 till I got an injury and couldn't play anymore. So definitely football, soccer. I would say UFC is gonna be 3 for
Ah, I
me.
forgot about that.
Yeah, I love me some UFC,
Hey,
some MMA. Not as much boxing. Boxing's cool, but prefer UFC. Shout out Dana White, and the whole UFC crew. Number 4, I'm gonna go golf 4. Um, like you said, individual, but when the Ryder Cup, President's Cup, all that comes around, damn, I'm locked into the TV. Like when Ryder Cup's going on, I think James and I both leave our phones on and just fire off text all day
it's
long. Like there's nothing else. So yeah,
that's
that's
the enslaved.
number 4. 100%. That's number 4, and then number 5. Well, number five's tough. Probably gonna go hockey with number 5. I like watching hockey on TV or being there in person. Um, Number 5 could be quite a few sports, but yeah, those are
Yeah,
gonna be my top 5 sports to watch. Top 5 teams, I'll kick off the top 5 teams. Number 1's the Eagles, without a doubt. Philly kid, born and raised, basically, just quoting Meek
yeah.
Mill at this point. So yeah, Eagles 1, Phillies 2, Sixers 3, Flyers 4, and then Hmm. I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go number 5. So I'm gonna set the scene here. I didn't go to a college or university that had a football team, so I can say this without a shadow of a doubt. I am a Penn State fan. However, I am a bigger Alabama fan than I am a Penn State fan. And the only reason I'm a Bama fan is because of Mr. JT right there. His whole family brought me in to the Roll Tide crew. So Bama is going to round out my top 5. What are your top 5 teams?
I love it, man. Yeah, I mean, coming in number one's got to be the birds, right? I mean, that's what this whole city's about. That's what we bleed. It's what we live for. It's got to be Phillies number two, man. I'll tell you what, there's nothing like a Philadelphia Red October, and I mean, you can attest to that. You've been to the games.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
nothing quite like the Citizens Bank Park. I mean, in October. I mean, come on now.
Place like
Um,
setting off earthquakes.
oh gosh, not even close. Number three, it's got to be a shout out to my sister and family and everything. Roll Tide, baby. We'll struggle a little bit this year. We're catching our stride with DeBoer and everything. I like kind of where we're sitting and stuff. So really enjoying watching the team in the program this year, kind of overcome Saban's retirement and that whole aspect of things, which I'm sure we'll touch on.
Oh yeah.
Um, number four. Number four is probably I'm gonna have to go hockey. I'm gonna go Flyers, baby. That's classic Broad Street bullies. I was raised on that. I remember my dad telling stories growing up and stuff. So, got to carry that legacy on. And I might throw a little. I might throw a little soccer team in there. I had a lot of roommates and stuff like that. They were all huge Manchester United fans. So I kind of jumped on that train a little bit. Haven't watched too much recently, but there's nothing like waking up Saturday morning and catching the match with your boys and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty much my top five.
I like that list. I like that list. All right, we went over our top five teams. We're gonna go over top five beverages. It could be alcoholic, non-alcoholic, but where's the fun in that? Gonna go number one. Love me a good Diet Coke, man. Love me a good Diet Coke. You knew I was going there with that one
Yep,
first. And water doesn't count on this list for everybody at home. By the way,
a
that's
given.
that's just goes without saying. But yeah, Diet Coke number one. I'm gonna go whiskey or bourbon number two. Um, Even better when it's mixed with a little DC. Number three is going to have to be Scotch. Big Scotch guy. Number four is going to be beer. Don't really have a favorite beer necessarily, but just clump it with beer altogether. And then number five, hmm, tough question. Fiance Degen has me on these poppy things. It's like a soda, pretty fire. So I'm gonna go with that. Also a great mixie for anybody who needs some flavored mixies that's kind of good for your gut health. I don't know. So we'll go poppy five.
Like it. Kicking off my five. I mean, I gotta go. I'm a big beer drinker, so I love me beer during tailgate season games, stuff like that. Even hosting here with the guys and everything. I'm not sure if I have a favorite top beer or anything. I'm just gonna just like you. I'm just gonna group it all in total. Um, Coming in number two, it's gonna sound weird, but like stick with me here. I'm a big milk guy, so love milk and everything. I've been drinking it out of the gallon since I was a kid. Guys just passed down from my dad. Some on my end though. Number three, I gotta say, I mean, this guy over here, Degens, got me into a lot of the different bourbons. So coming over and stuff, we'll sip on some bourbons and stuff. It's been really nice. I've enjoyed it a lot and kind of expanded my palate and everything. Um, Number four has got to be just a solid Coke. Just a solid Coke. I mean, you can do anything with Coke. You can drink it by itself. You can mix it with rum, Jack, you name it. And man, number five, huh? Might honestly kind of take this same route as you. Scotch. Scotch has been great. It's grown on me a lot. Hated it at first. It's way too. I mean, I was like, it's too much. But now it's really smooth. My dad got me into it. I mean, you've had it a couple times over here and stuff. So no, growing on me. I like it. Like it a
I might
lot.
have to make I might have to make a revision. I was just thinking, scratch the five at Poppy. Poppy's good. Poppy will come in at six.
Yeah.
Gonna have to go with. I know we didn't really get too specific, but I'm gonna have to get specific here. Love me a good transfusion. Transfusion's
Oh,
gonna be
you
number
dog.
five. This is our pod. We can make a revision here. I'm gonna have to go with the tranny juice. I love me a transfusion.
And I might
Golf
have to pump the
course.
brakes. I may have to pump the brakes a little bit on my end, and since we're doing the edit here. I had a buddy introduce me to a drink that's called a pine cone, and I think it's usually sold down at Pinehurst, down in North Carolina. But it's a bourbon and lemonade, and I'll tell you what, first tee box, man, you take a sip of that. Don't matter where the ball's going, you're just in a good mood.
Oh yeah, you know it. You know it. All right. Coming to a close on our top five. We got two left. Last one's kind of a top three. Top five game day foods. JT, what's your number one game day food?
It's got to be buffalo wings, man. It's got to be the best one, hands down. Snack food, take it on the go, chill, have it with a beer, stuff. Can't beat it. What's coming in?
100% agree.
What's coming in number one with you?
100% agree. Wings got to be number one. I don't care buffalo wings. I don't care barbecue, garlic parm, whatever kind of wing it is. Love me a good smoked wing, but wings hands down number one.
Got to be
Number two.
extra
What do you got?
crispy.
Oh, 100%. I don't want that skin sagging or anything. I need that skin crisp.
Yes, sir.
Number two. What do you got? Number two.
It's got to be. I mean, it's going to be just like kind of a natural thing. It's got to be cheesesteaks, man. That's got to be just you get your meat, your cheese, your Cooper Sharp, your fried onions on that seeded roll. Man, you can't beat it. Warms you up on a cold day, get you going. Can't beat it.
All right, for everybody at home who did not catch that, let me rewind real quick. You heard him say the cheesesteak, the fried onions, the Cooper Sharp, the seeded roll. That is how it's done. Anybody who wants to argue that one, you can argue that one all day long. Cooper Sharp cheese is the best cheesesteak cheese, hands down. Yes, I know. I know Wiz is a Philly thing. I'm not a Wiz guy though. I really am
Yeah,
not. But Cooper Sharp, 100%. Cheesesteaks. They were going to be at three for me. I'll be honest with you. Cheesesteaks are going to be at three. I love. It's really weird. I love nachos, man. Nachos
fair.
got to be number two for me on game day foods. They're messy, but nothing goes good or nothing goes better. Nice cold beer, some nachos, and some birds. That's all I need.
Gotta love it.
All right, number three for you. Go ahead.
It's good. It's number three is tough. Number three is tough. I gotta go. I'm a sucker for a good old fashioned hot dog. I'm not gonna lie. Whether I'm golfing, tailgating, watching the game, stuff like that. At a Phillies game, ballpark dog. I mean, come on now. You can't beat that.
Yeah, it's nah, you can't. You can't. Three is gonna be cheesesteak for me, same thing. Number four, I'll start off number four. Number four, game day. See, the thing is, but we tailgate a little differently. Most people, when they tailgate, they got burgers and dogs, they got some other stuff. When we tailgate, we got a brisket. That thing is smoked 16 hours in advance,
At least
ready to go. So I'm gonna go brisket number four.
I like it. Coming in number four for me, man, it's gonna be not a lot of thing or not a lot of people will know about it. It's more of like a more of a southern kind of tradition and game day food, but it's called Kaneka, and it's a sausage from Kaneka, Alabama, and they sell it all over the South and stuff. But I promise you, if you ever get a chance to try Kaneka, it is the hands down best sausage you'll ever have in your life. Not even close.
And confirm. James is giving me some. Funny enough, number five for me was going to be sausage and peppers.
Now I like it. I'll
Love a
agree with
good
that.
sausage and peppers on an amoroso roll. Sign me up.
And I mean, yeah, you can't beat that. Coming in number five with me, I mean, I feel like we got to stick with the whole. I mean, it's you see a whole entire spread of different things, on game day and stuff. But one of the things that's always kind of stuck with me, and one of the things that Philadelphia is also known for, is those Philadelphia pretzels, those soft pretzels with that warm cheese or that whatever that sweet glaze you like, either or savory, sweet doesn't matter, still hits. So that's always a nice little cap off for me.
Yeah, that was a good addition there. That was a good addition. All right, round out top five list with top three casino games. I'll kick it off.
I
Number
was say
one is
let
going to be number one is going to be craps. You guys will hear about it eventually. I do have a craps YouTube channel that I teach people how to play craps, roll things out, all that kind of stuff. There's a 12-foot craps table sitting behind me in the Casa del Degen,
it's
or the
legit.
Degen Dungeon, as it's known, 100%. Number two is going to be blackjack. Number three is going to be well, it would be poker if I had more time to play poker. Do love poker. I'll call three poker slash baccarat. Love me some bac.
Never actually played Baccarat. I always walk past it and I'm just like, it looks too complicated.
So easy.
Really? Okay.
Don't worry. In future episodes, we'll get into all the casino games. We'll talk about them. We'll have guests on who are experts in the casino games. If you have somebody you want on the pod, let us know. Drop it in the email, drop it in the comments, DM us on Instagram, TikTok, all those things. They'll be linked all down below. You can go check them out. And yeah, let us know who you want to see or what topics you want to hear discussed. James, top three casino games.
All right, man. I'm an absolute sucker for some good roulette. Throwing 100 on black. That's what it is. Always black. That's what it is. Um, Depending on how that works out, I'll hit the blackjack table for a little bit, like spend a little bit of time there, get a couple drinks, hang out with some people. It's just nice. It's relaxed. I've been playing blackjack for a long time, so it's always nice to sit down at a familiar table game. Um, Number three, I was at the Ocean Casino a couple weeks ago, and with a buddy and his girlfriend, and I've never been like big into slots. I've always been like, all right, it kind of deters people away. You're just sitting there pressing the button. You kind of look a little bit mindless. But I was introduced to this slot game called Buffalo, and that I don't know if you played it before or not, but that game is enticing.
Yeah, it is enticing. I am not a slots player at all.
No.
I am a So basically, I played slots once in my life. It was in Monte Carlo in Monaco. I was a winner on the slot machine, and I have vowed to never touch a slot machine again because I'm a lifetime winner playing slots.
Good man. Good man.
All right, we rounded out our top five. Again, like I said, if you guys want to let us know who you want to see on the pod or any topics, OnlyDegenspod@gmail.com is the email. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, all the large podcasting platforms. YouTube, obviously, drop in the comments. Let us know who you want to see, what you want to hear, and we will do our best to get those people on or talk about that topic. And you guys know about us now, so let's talk some sports. We're going to get into some sports talk, and we're going to dive into the NFL, dive into some college football. All right, you guys got to know about us. Now we're done with that. Now we can talk on the subjects of the pod. We can talk sports. We can talk gambling, talk the casino. We could talk our beverages. We could talk our food. We're going to kick it off with some football talk. We got week 12 of the NFL season this weekend. Um, it's been a good season so far, I think, for, overall, I think there's been a lot of shakeups, though. I think a lot of people thought teams were going to be a lot better than they were. Definitely a very interesting season so far. So, James, what's the most surprising team to you so far? Either being good or being very, very bad?
That's such a good question. Like you said, this year has been kind of like no other year. I mean, and going into the different seasons, I mean, I'm sure we all do fantasy too. But man, this year's been challenging. A lot of teams going through growing pains. A lot of teams, bringing up young guys and stuff like that. A team that's probably most kind of surprising, I would say, or just like I'm most kind of like I want to say like not proud of, but I've always seen the Detroit Lions growing up and stuff, and it's really nice to see that team like come through and be that strong contender in the NFC East. Dan Campbell's done an absolutely fantastic job reorganizing that franchise and everything. So really excited to see what they do, and best believe the Eagles will be right there with them. So yeah.
Yeah, Lions have been fun to watch. Even last year, they had obviously a good run last year.
Oh,
They're
absolutely.
just a fun team overall. I like watching them a lot. Think I'm surprised by. I didn't expect this team to be that good this year, and damn, they surprised me. Denver Broncos. Bo
Bo Nix,
Nix has
baby.
come out and he's slinging that ball. They look good this year. So Broncos have surprised me a little bit. I know a lot of people are probably expecting us to shit on the Cowboys. Don't worry, we'll be doing plenty of
We'll get
that. But they're. I mean, see, as an Eagles fan, you expect them to be a dumpster fire, and they're not. They're usually pretty good. Usually going at it with the Eagles. One year
yeah.
we win, the next year they win for the
Always
division,
during
stuff
the
like that.
season.
Yeah, yeah. But here's the thing, right? When you pay Dak and you pay CD Lamb and you got no money to pay anybody else, you're not going to be that good. Dak's not good. And
Little
if
to no
anybody again wants
off-season
to,
moves.
yeah, I mean, if you want to debate the Dak not being good, look at his playoff stats. Don't give me his regular season stats. I don't care. All right. There's a lot of quarterbacks who have been good in the regular season, dog shit in the postseason. Just look at him in the postseason. All right, I don't care about his 300-yard games that he throws for 200 of them in the second half of the third quarter and the fourth quarter because they're trailing. Miss me with all that information. But in the playoffs, terrible. Not saying the Eagles have been any better. Okay,
Yeah, no.
they
Hey,
got some early exits as of late, but yeah, Broncos definitely surprised me. So we got Thanksgiving Day coming up, and
right around the
we
corner.
got Week 12. Yeah, we got Week 12 coming up this weekend. Hopefully the pod will drop before that. It should, but we're gonna kind of skip over this weekend. We're gonna go right to Week 13, and we're gonna go right into the Thursday night games, the Thanksgiving or Thursday day games, the
Mm.
Thanksgiving Day games, the Black Friday games, and into Week 13. So Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, while we're chowing down on some turkey, some stuffing, some mac and cheese, all that kind of stuff. You got the Bears playing the Lions. You got the Giants and the Cowboys, the Dolphins and the Packers. JT, which game are you most looking forward to?
Like it's got to be. I mean, I'm kind of biased, right? So I love seeing the Dolphins come through adversity, especially Tua, and going through what he's gone through and having the perseverance and everything. And a lot of people will be like, "Hey, probably stop playing." But watching him at Alabama and knowing the kind of player that he is, he'll never quit. So seeing that, I'm definitely excited for that Finns Packers matchup on Sunday night. What about you?
That's gonna be a good game. I'm It's gonna be a bad game, but I'm excited to watch the badness of the game. The Giants and the Cowboys. We'll see if Tommy Cutlets is the quarterback for the Giants. Cooper Rush for the Cowboys. I don't know. That game's gonna be like who can get a couple first downs. It's gonna be entertaining. Um, so we'll see what happens there. But looking forward to the Lions Bears game too, quite a bit. But I think like you said, the best game
Blowout.
on I think the best game is going to be definitely the Dolphins and the Packers. Looking forward to that game, and then um, kind of lackluster on Black Friday. The Chiefs and the Raiders. The Chiefs have been barely squeaking out wins this year. They're 9-0 or 9-1 actually, but
Well, yeah,
the
hey,
Bills,
Buffalo.
yeah, the Bills got them, but yeah, I mean, they should slaughter this team. They probably won't because that's not, Chiefs fashion as of late. They just seem to barely squeak by, which, I guess you're still winning. So, good on
That's
you.
good.
But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a good week. I'm looking forward to some multiple day game action. Love me some Thanksgiving Day, some Christmas Eve, Christmas Day games. Always a good time.
And I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. Coming into this Cowboys Giants game, I feel like we'd elaborate a little bit about that. I don't know about you, man, but coming on at what 4:30 that night East Coast time. I mean, already through dinner stuff. I mean, I can already smell the nap I'm gonna take with DeVito and Rush. So whatever the outcome is the outcome. But like you said, it'll be fun just watching an absolute kind of shit show.
Yeah, I mean, you can take a nap, wake up in the fourth quarter. It'll still probably be a pretty close game. You won't even know what
Yep.
happened. Probably 100 yards of offense for both teams. Like, just garbage.
At this
But
point,
no, NFL's. I'm looking forward to these games. Looking forward to the close out of the NFL season. Obviously, we'll be addressing a lot of NFL here on the pod because we're big football guys. So very, very interesting though. We're getting to week 13. Not too much time left. There's still some time left, but not too much time left. So some teams are going to be moving up, hopefully. Some teams are going to be moving down. And we're waiting for the fallout. I'm expecting a big fallout here. Some of these divisions are so tight.
oh
And
yeah,
if you look at the NFC West, I mean, that division is like there's no separation in that division right now.
competitive as shit.
I'm looking
Can't say as
forward to
much for the
that.
NFC East, but hey.
Yeah, I mean the Commanders have been doing good.
I'll
Jaden
tell you
Daniels
what.
balling
If I
out
if
this
I
year.
can elaborate, on one thing, I gotta tip my cap to that Commanders program, man. Taking care of leadership or just like upper management stuff like that, and then working its way back down, seeing them become like a more of a competitive football team again after Schneider and everything. I mean, hey, you can't hate that. So I'm happy. I don't know if we're moving forward. I don't know if it's too early, too soon right now to call them maybe a future division rival, but hey, you never know.
If the Cowboys keep going the way they're going, the Commanders definitely gonna be a division rival. That game was a lot closer. I was there on Thursday night at the link watching that game. Had some pretty bad seats right on the tunnel, fourth row. Pretty bad seats. But yeah, no, it was it was a good time watching that game. Commanders though, they're a good team. And yeah, they do deserve a lot of credit
Yeah,
for
yeah.
what they've done, bringing in Dan Quinn, Jaden Daniels. I mean, he's been balling. I don't think he's as good as people think he is. I'll be honest with you. Because if you take a look at his stats and stuff, you know, if you look at a lot of his passing yards, it's really the receivers after the catch that he's getting yards on. A lot of check down passes with a lot of big chunk plays after the fact.
They got a lot of
So
players
that's
on
just
their
a
team.
testament to his receivers, and they're getting open with some space and they can move. So listen, not taking anything away from him. He's been playing really well all year, and looking forward to seeing him play well. Love to see a good rookie young quarterback playing well. That that's just it's so good to
Helps
see,
the future of the
especially
game and everything.
Yeah, especially for like a team that's been so bad for so long. Like, yeah, the Commanders may steal a game from the Eagles every once in a while, but like you never were worried about them, right?
No,
In the East, you never worried about the Commanders, never worried about the Giants,
it
right?
was
Like,
cool.
yeah, you might.
It was cool seeing Jade. I'm gonna kind of backtrack a little bit because I was at the LSU Bama game last year in Tuscaloosa, and I'll tell you what. There was a lot of talk about Jaden coming up in that game. And we really thought he was gonna. I mean, we got to contain him. That was the biggest thing. But man, that dude can run. He ate us alive on the ground. But luckily, we shut down everything else, and Bama secured that dub. But yeah, I mean, Jaden just coming through is just like a young talent, and that's love to see it, especially in our division too. I mean, I love the competitiveness. So
100%, 100%. All right, you touched on college football. I think we got to transition over to college football. Obviously, the college football playoffs are coming soon. New year with the 12-team playoff. First
yes,
off,
sir.
what are your thoughts on the 12-team playoff versus the 14 playoff?
I like it, man. I think it helps the game. It expands. It gives other teams a new chance. I mean, we've seen it. I mean, we've seen it in different tournaments. I mean, you could. I mean, I'll do a little far stretch with March Madness, but we've seen teams make Cinderella runs that you can't even make up, and that's the coolest thing about sports, right? Is I mean, stats can tell you everything, but what actually happens on the field and that drive and everything that these players bring and that motivation, man, it's truly something special. So I'm looking forward to the big hitters, the underdogs, you name it. What about
Yeah,
you?
I
What do you?
agree. I mean, I've been calling for this 14 playoff to go away for a long time. I think it's actually like a sore spot on the game having a 14 playoff. Yes, I know you want to have your best four teams. There's a lot of people want to say there's no politics involved. There's definitely politics
Oh,
involved with that. Certain teams definitely deserve to be there. And yes, there's some teams who get in who maybe shouldn't have gotten in, but then somebody else is getting snubbed. People are going to make the same argument this year, like let's say the 13 through 15 got snubbed, they didn't get in, but you know, you had to be top 12, right? Now you expanded 3x what it was before. So, the people who were complaining who are like 13, 14, you wouldn't even be sniffing at the playoffs if they didn't change it, right? So, I definitely like the 12-team playoff. I think it's great. Like you said, though, right? You got the Cinderella teams. Obviously, some of these teams, especially like coming out of some of these like lesser conferences, it can be interesting to see, what they can do in the playoff because typically, you have the powerhouses from the Big Ten, the SEC, um, and they kind of just dominate the college football playoffs year in and year out.
with the
Rightfully
grouping with
so.
the Big Ten and everything, having these like I don't know if we're moving to more super conferences or anything like that, but seeing the moves the Big Ten made, the SEC bringing in Texas and Oklahoma, and up in the Big Ten bringing over USC and UW. So
No, it's good though. I think it's good. It puts a little bit more competitiveness because one of my biggest things with like college football, especially in the past, has been like strength of schedule.
yeah,
In the NFL, there's no real like debating strength of schedule, right? You win your division, you're playing the same opponents as your divisional opponents are, right? So for example, I'm going to go back to the NFC East because that's what we know best. The Eagles, the Giants, the Cowboys, the Commanders play the same teams. So it's not like, you're comparing, the Eagles playing like the Patriots to like the Commanders that were up against the Chiefs. No, like both teams are going to be playing the same team throughout the season, which is what I like. And making these conferences a little bit bigger and putting some more powerhouse in these conferences, I think it adds like almost a little bit of regression to the mean, right? I mean, if you look at some of the college football, games this year, like the SEC has been wild,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like you take a team like Alabama, okay? We're gonna start with them. They
yep,
lost to Tennessee and they
yep,
lost to Vanderbilt, right? The
mm-hmm.
Vandy loss, bad loss, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, yeah,
But they beat Georgia,
yep,
right? And then you look at Georgia, who beat Tennessee and they beat Texas,
mm-hmm.
but they lost to Bama, they lost to Ole Miss. Okay. Then you take Ole Miss,
That's
who
yep.
lost to LSU, lost to Kentucky, right? It's like you got that, and then even like a Texas. Texas
But I mean,
ranked
oh,
third.
hey, I
They
mean,
lost to
the weirdest thing was Ole Miss beat Georgia, right? So it's
yeah.
there's so many intermingling things that are happening in the SEC, and it's the coolest thing ever to watch.
Yeah, and I'm actually very interested to see how this all shakes out, right? Because like I was going through those teams, and then Texas, right? They're third. They lost to Georgia. So like if you want to, I know people are going to say, well, they only have one loss. They do have one loss, but they didn't play certain teams. It's all going to come down to the SEC championship. To be honest with you, for who is the top of the SEC. But going to be interesting. I think you're going to have four teams from the SEC, right? I
Yep.
mean, I don't really see a fifth coming in there, but possibly. But overall, I mean, you take a look at this AP poll I have in front of me here. Oregon number one, 11-0, no question there. Ohio State number two. I do like. I do like Ohio State at number two. I think it's a good play. They
Yeah.
did lose a very close game to Oregon, but they blew out pretty much every single team with the exception of Penn State and Nebraska, but Penn State's number four. So, I'm not going to hold that against them. What do you think about Oregon and
I mean,
Ohio
hey,
State one, two?
um, I'll do a little comment on the Penn State team. I mean, hey, tough loss to Ohio State. But that's I mean, hey, that's a bounce back game. They're top five team. I mean, that's something that you can learn from, you can advance from, you can especially build off of it too. And seeing the talents that Drew Aller brings to the table too. That kid's something special. And we've lived in the Pennsylvania area for a long time. So we follow Penn State very closely, and seeing the talent that's coming in and out of there and stuff. I think they got a pretty good shot if they get their heads on right. Franklin points them in the right direction. I feel like they could make a little run there.
Yeah, I think Penn State's going to be a good team in this playoff, and from the Big Ten, right? I mean, you got Ohio State, Penn State, Indiana, who Indiana. Listen,
I'm curious about Indiana this weekend.
no.
Ohio State and
Oh,
Indiana.
this weekend, yeah, they're playing Ohio State this weekend. I think Ohio State's going to beat the pants off them. And listen to this: Indiana, with a loss to Ohio State, is going to be seeing their way out of the top 12. They may be very close. I do not think they stay top. They don't stay top 10. They may be sniffing like 11, 12 potentially. If not, they're on the outside looking in because if you look at their games, I mean, their games are snooze fest. They haven't played a single good team all year
It
long.
just it just feels like one of those the classic ranks that hasn't been kind of like looked at seriously.
Yeah, and it's the same thing to me with like the SEC teams. People used to say Georgia doesn't play anybody, Alabama doesn't play anybody, LSU doesn't play anybody. You know they don't play anybody until it's the SEC championship.
Mhm.
Okay, fine, but you want to make that same argument Indiana right now? I mean, Indiana hasn't played a game yet. To be honest here.
No, a competitive game? No, absolutely not. And that's the whole thing. I
No.
mean, a lot of things get brought up, especially in the SEC. And I mean, hey, there is no such thing as a week off in the SEC. No matter where you are, whether you're home, whether you're away, anything can happen. So I mean, being a fan of Alabama just in the past 6-7 years, and seeing how the whole culture shifts and everything down there, and just the passion that's behind football is different down south. I got to tell you that, man. Um, they live it. They live and breathe it. They bleed it. But man, those SEC teams, whether they're, I mean, you saw, I mean, Vanderbilt out of nowhere. I mean,
Yep.
it's any week is up for grabs. So that's what I love about the SEC.
Yeah, yep. No, and I mean, again, this team should be beating teams like a Vanderbilt, but listen, this is what I like about the 12-team playoff, right? You never know; somebody could come in. We already talked a lot about the SEC teams, but then I mean, you got Miami at 11. Miami. Everybody thought they were probably the best team, not one of the best teams. I never really thought that. Again, they haven't played anybody really that good. They were close
Cam
games, but
Cam Ward's a
they're there.
stud.
Yeah, no, Cam Ward is a stud. Don't get me wrong; he's a stud. And then you got Boise State, right? Boise State, their only loss is to Oregon, but they've been playing good. Their running back's a Heisman
Awesome.
candidate right now.
Yeah, that
I mean,
kid's
that
something
dude.
special.
Yeah, I mean, after like what week 5 or something, that dude to score a touchdown. Like if you were betting on him to score a touchdown, like the odds were insane because like it was a guarantee this dude scoring, and
It's
like
free
his
money.
yardage props and everything were crazy. So yeah, no, I'm excited to see how this top 12 shakes out. I think it's going to change obviously after this weekend. Um, Again,
Definitely.
I expect Ohio State to destroy Indiana, and I really predict Indiana to slide
Yeah.
far.
Yeah.
But
I like it,
yeah,
man.
no,
I like it a lot. But so we got a lot to look forward to. Is all I gotta say. Especially coming into the closeout of the year and stuff with the holidays around the corner, man. I mean, it's kind of what we live for all year.
yeah, there's nothing better than like I feel like this time of the sports year is so good because you got college football winding down, but at the same time ramping up, right? You got the playoffs coming. Then we have the NFL playoffs, like right around the corner from that, and then you got March Madness. This is like a sports fan's like dream season right now.
It's the best. I mean, there's nothing that's worse than, I mean, everything that goes by. I don't even just saying it for, everybody that I work with can attest to this. And it's just like you hit that gap after the Super Bowl and everything was that gap from, February to, April and stuff when they start, reporting catchers and pitchers to spring training. I mean, that's kind of like that 3 month gap right there. That's like, oh guys, come on, give me something.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. All right, well, uh, I think the only sports we're going to touch on today really football. We talk some NFL, we talk some college football. Next, we're going to give you some tips from the Degen Dungeon Dining Room. All right, the Degen Dungeon Dining Room. The dining hall is open, ladies and gentlemen. We got Thanksgiving right around the corner. I'm going to touch on what we're making for Thanksgiving. JT, Mr. Culinary Expert, what are we making for Thanksgiving?
I mean, hey, we got the meats at the Moran household. I'll tell you that. So, man, I'm in charge of, I want to say over 35 pounds of meat. So we got,
There you go.
I was gonna say even probably more than that. You got a big old turkey. I think we got a 27 pounder. So I'll do that. I'll throw that in a nice little brine about 48 hours out. So it'll be nice. It'll make it more tender and stuff. But love doing that. I've done turkeys. I mean, you name it, cooking method, done fried turkeys, butterball turkeys, same thing. I've smoked them. I've roasted them. I've done rotisserie turkeys too. But coming back to it, I'm probably just going to keep it short and simple this year and just bake it off. Really kind of just baste it and then kind of just bring out everything that I want to bring out in it. Gonna be in charge in some. I mean, just sister and everything coming up from the south and stuff. So, sister's fiance and his family are coming up from the south too. They live in a small town called Wetumpka, Alabama. So, they're coming up. They're going to see Philadelphia, New York, the whole 9 yards. And I mean, of course, we got to give them some good, as best barbecue as we can do up north. Is all I'm going to say. I know you guys got it down south, but I'll throw some baby backs on the smoker and stuff like that. And probably a classic favorite side dish got to be the maple sausage stuffing. I mean, you got to have that. There's nothing that beats that. I don't know if you've had it before, but it's damn good. So looking
I
forward to
have
those
not.
three things. But yeah, man, I'm just thankful for everything that's around us and what we have and stuff. So and hoping everybody can find a couple things to be grateful for this year too. So
100%. Ending it on a good note there. Yeah, I'm not worried about your food being anything short of fantastic. Um, what am I in charge of this year? Actually, similar, but I do an apple sausage stuffing. So that's what I'm in charge of this year. We're going to the fam for Thanksgiving. They're handling the turkey and a lot of stuff. I'm on the hook for famous apple pie. I've been known to dabble in the apple pie space. I hate baking, but good old
you're
apple
damn
pie.
good
I
at
love
it
that.
though.
Yeah, and then yeah, the turkey or sorry, the sausage apple stuffing is it's funny. So Thanksgiving for the longest time, nobody was allowed to mess with grandmom's stuffing. Everybody was grandmom's stuffing was grandmom's stuffing. Nobody could touch it. And my dad decided to be an outlaw one year and
Choose.
introduced this apple sausage stuffing, and it's been a staple ever since. Even grandmom's like, I think this is better than mine. So I'm in charge of that one this year. So I'm looking forward to that. But the maple sausage sounds good too. Um, just I so it's funny, I like
Why don't we
Thanksgiving
just
a lot.
combine them? We just make it maple apple sausage stuffing.
There you go. Basically like a pancake. It sounds
That's what I
fantastic.
mean.
But yeah, no, it's I like Thanksgiving. Funny enough, I'm actually not really a turkey guy. I don't love
Same.
turkey. I only eat turkey during Thanksgiving, really,
Mhm.
or if I'm at Vagabond in Atlantic City, love me a
Oh,
turkey
shout
apple
out
brie.
Vagabond. Hell yeah.
Shout out
Yep.
Vagabond and shout out Guy Fieri on Diners, Drive-ins, and Dives. Love me a turkey apple brie there, but otherwise, turkey. The only time I really eat is Thanksgiving. I'm a big sides guy on Thanksgiving. Though the stuffing that I make, love a good mac and cheese, mashed potatoes. Give me the carbs so I can sleep through that Giants game.
Yeah, absolutely. You already know.
All right, so that's what we're doing cooking wise. Sometimes during this segment, we'll give you some tips from our culinary expert. Maybe we'll have a chef on, who knows, other than JT himself. And Next, we're gonna call the cart girl. Give you a little beverage update. All right, the cart girl stopped by. We'll be talking about new beers, whiskeys, scotches, bourbons that we've had. I'm gonna go to a good old classic here. For anyone who doesn't know, I was a bartender back in the day.
Damn
Deng's
good one.
holding down the culinary aspect. I'll hold down the mixology aspect. But one of my most requested drinks, especially at parties, we have a Halloween party every single year, is the pumpkin pie shot. All right, so pumpkin pie shot is equal parts pumpkin liqueur, like from Pennsylvania Dutch or whatever it is. I don't know. You find it at your local store. It's like a creamy pumpkin pie drink, and you mix that with some whipped vodka, one in one. Shake it over some ice. Pumpkin pie shot, little dash of cinnamon on top. If you want to get frisky, you can add some whipped cream on top. But fire.
I'll attest to that. It's fantastic, and I know you're a little humble with the whole Halloween party. I mean, I'll tell you guys. I mean, these guys go off. I mean, Chris's fiance does such an incredible job with these parties, and Chris is out there doing all the handiwork with all the decorations and stuff. So, I mean, hats off to you guys. You guys put on hands down the best Halloween parties. Coming in with me, I mean, I drink I drink a lot of beer. So I mean, like, I dabble with, bourbon and stuff like that. But when I'm on the golf course and that cart girl stops by, I'm looking for one thing and one thing only: solid beer. And someone across one the other day was like, "Look, surprise me!" And we came back with this. It's called the Cape May Always Ready. It's a hazy pale ale. And I'm not really a big IPA guy. Went through my phase with it and everything. It was fantastic and stuff, but settling down a little bit. Got work in the mornings and stuff. So a little hazy pale ale is really good, refreshing, crisp. I think this one from Ocean City Brewing Company, or not Ocean City, Cape May Brewing Company. Sorry, it's such a classic, just easy to drink, fun on the golf course, refreshing. Um, yeah, it's probably my latest and greatest. So yeah,
Yeah, Cape May Brewery's a fire place to go. Been there a few times when we're down at the
still have never
beach,
been.
and
But
great time
you're
there.
a lot closer in Wildwood, so
I am, yeah. Always having a good time there though. So, all right, Cart Girl's gonna exit, and we are as well. I want to thank you guys for watching episode one of
yeah.
the Only Gents podcast. JT, any final thoughts, final words for the listeners at home?
Look, I'm just excited. Excited to kick things off and everything. And I know that Thanksgiving's right around the corner. So just from my family to yours and everybody out there, just have a wonderful holiday and get a chance to spend some time with your family and let them know you love them. That's what I got.
100%, 100%. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Again, if you have topics you want discussed or you want certain guests on, drop us an email, onlydegenspod@gmail.com. You can find us on all the major social medias. It'll all be linked down below. Go check it out and let us know. And we will see you guys in episode two.
Sounds good, guys. See you.